Says she's a 10. Oh boy, this is about to be rough.
Where's the rest?
Or was it just dot?
That was it. Thank you, Brooks J, for the super chat. I do appreciate it, guys. If you want $200 for a TTS, $100 to read. We typically curate those at a later time during the show. We're going to get into our first reaction here. So why don't we do... Actually, let's do... one of the panelists has a boyfriend application. We're going to review that. It's Kenna?
Yes, it's
Kenna?
me.
Let's look at her boyfriend's application. All right. Make it bigger for me. Make it bigger. Bigger. All right. This is her boyfriend application, looking for a new lover boy. So you want to... Where are you from? I was going to fill it out. I put it on the game. So you want the Instagram. How old are you? How tall? Why is it a 2... There's 5'0" to 5'10"?
What?
Well,
So
yeah.
is it if they are shorter than 5'10", it's disqualified?
No, it's not disqualified. I'll just look at you last.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of job do you have? Do you like cats? Do you have
Yes, I have cats.
multiple, plural?
Yeah, I have 2 cats.
2 cats. Okay.
2 sons.
What would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? There's that. Okay.
Wait. Hang on. Back up. It says, what is your favorite kind of car?
Yes.
Can you name...
I missed that one.
Okay. Can you name 4 different kinds of cars?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Ford Escort, Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
No, you can't use the same one.
No, those are different cars.
Use a different one.
Honda Accord and a Prius.
Are you dating anybody who drives a Honda Accord?
No.
No, of course not. Okay.
All right. Back to it. Scroll down. What is your favorite thing to do in your free time? Do you go to the gym? Yes, no, sometimes. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Living on a beach in Florida.
All right.
Same.
Do you invest your money? Tell me a joke. Ad pic if you like. Okay, that's great. It wasn't too bad, the boyfriend.
Can you tell us a
application.
joke?
No.
That is interesting. Do you guys think it's fair that women demand things from men, like traits that they don't possess themselves?
Can you elaborate on that question?
Well, like for example, right? This tends to come up typically later parts of the show, but if we're talking about like body count, women have like massive objections to, like, for example, a man who has a high body count stating quite emphatically that he prefers women with a low body count or virgins. You guys think, well, that's not fair. Like, here you are with your high body count, you are promiscuous, but you want to take a non-promiscuous woman, you want a virgin. That's hypocrisy. That's a double standard. But I mean, well, first off, why don't we maybe start there? Do you guys think that that's problematic for a high body count man to be
Very
like, I only want to date a virgin?
Why is that problematic?
Because it's like you have a high body count and you're expecting your woman to have a low body count. That's
Well, that's just restating the issue, but what's actually problematic about the issue?
It's
Yeah,
just because like he's been sleeping with multiple people, like multiple women, and then like this girl, let's say she's only slept with 3 women. Not 3 women. 3 like men or whatever. Like, and he's or no. Okay, let me give like a better example. Let's just say he had to pick between a girl that had like 30 plus body count and then like a 3 plus body count.
Yeah.
Obviously, his body count is probably like maybe 40, I want to say.
Well, let's say it's 60.
60. Let's
Sure.
say it's 60,
Okay.
right? So, and he decides to choose the girl with the lowest body count.
Yeah.
And his poor excuse is, well, like, well, she has the lowest body count. She hasn't been sleeping with a lot of women.
Yeah,
I
what's
mean,
the
a lot of
problem?
men.
What's the problem?
But the thing about it is like it's kind of signifying that the other woman is a slut and like
No, it's just signifying that he has a preference for women with a lower body count.
Yeah, but like he has a high body count.
So-
So
But he can still have a preference.
it's okay.
I mean,
I'm not saying you can't have a preference or anything, but just like to disregard the other woman just because she has a higher body count, that's kind of like upsetting. Like, what if she had a really good chemistry? What if she had like an amazing personality, and her body count was just like your like no go, your no break.
I
So?
could
Well,
say.
let me ask you a question. Would you date a 5'2" man who was bald?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
And is your husband a 5'2" man who's
He
bald?
is not bald.
He's not. And is he 5'2"? Hang on, is he 5'2"?
He's 6'2".
Yeah, he's 6'2".
But-
So now, hang
but-
on. Let's back up.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's back up. Let's back up just a little bit here, okay? So he's 6'2", has hair, even though you would, of course, date the 5. And how many 5'2" bald men were available to you versus 6'2" men with hair?
So the thing.
Hang on, answer the question first.
Okay.
Answer the question first.
And let me answer your question. First, I don't really go out that much to be seeking.
Not the question I'm asking.
Okay.
Far more 5'2" bald men than there are 6'2" men.
I just don't know where they are. So for me,
There actually might be. So I.
There might be some in this chat.
I shouldn't help.
Like 6'2" men with hair, right?
yeah, but like if a 5'10" man with no hair comes up to me and he approaches to me and he's a gentleman and he's very, courteous and he like is gentle, I would go for him. But
Well, I mean, now we'll never know because you're with a 6'2" Chad with
and
hair,
that's
right?
And that's because like he
That's
just,
your preference,
No,
right?
no, because he aligned with me in my life,
And
we
he just
aligned with
happened to
each
be
other.
6'2". How did he have the perfect
I mean, I could
personality
date-
and happen to be 6'2"? That's an
5'10"
amazing.
bald
What an
man.
amazing
I'm
coincidence.
just saying, I would date like a Van Diesel if I
wait,
had
but
to.
hold on. I mean,
Vin
to
Diesel.
Vin
Andrew's-
Diesel is like the best
Wait, is it
example of a bald
5'2" or
man.
5'10"?
Don't even.
to Andrew's point here, when we talk about this height thing, and a lot of like we've asked this all the time, and it's like the women will say it's virtue signaling. You'll say yes, oh, I would date a short guy. I'll date a guy shorter than me. But then if you do even the most minimal inquisition, well, how tall were all your boyfriends? And all your boyfriends were above the average height of men. So the average height is like 5'9", 5'10", and these women say, oh, my past 3 boyfriends were all like 6 foot and above.
Just on average.
It's just like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like you say you will, but conveniently you've never done it.
I actually have dated somebody who was like my height, 5 foot. I'm 5'5", and he was like 5'5",
Yeah, for how long?
5'6". So we only been speaking to each other for like 2 years and talking to each other. But he's a very busy guy, so therefore his.
Did you sleep with him?
Well, yes, of course.
Okay,
I mean,
so hang on. So you slept with this guy. Now, out of this one guy that you slept with,
Yeah.
if we were to average all the men you've ever slept with, do they look a bit more like the husband or a bit more like that guy?
No, because my taste in men is very different.
Okay, so on
I
average,
explore.
you're sleeping
Average
with
is
men who
5
are below 5'9".
Yes.
Really?
Averagely.
Yeah,
Averagely.
fucking right.
Yes,
Sell
it
me
is
some
so
more
true.
bullshit.
Oh my god, I will give you proof.
Bullshit.
I will give you proof if you need it. Like I'm being so for real because I'm not like a surface level woman.
All right. Well, hang on. Okay, so let's inquire a little further. Okay. So how many men total? Total.
I have slept with 32 men.
Okay, so 32 men. Now, out of the 32 men, right? Some of these I assume are casual.
Yes.
You're casually hooking up with 5'5" dudes
Yes.
over the 6 foot dudes.
Because height doesn't matter to me. It does not. Like, okay, I'm being for real. Height does not matter to me. As
Okay.
long it's just your age. If you're younger than me, then that's my biggest pet peeve.
But you did conveniently marry someone 6'2".
It was because actually he's 6'2". He's not 6'2". He's between 6 foot to. Never mind. You know what?
What the hell? What just happened?
I don't know.
What the hell just happened?
Okay, so
It's way too early to have a meltdown in this show. Okay, yeah, it's way too early for that. So back up
You know
for
what,
me.
so- Cheers.
let me drink really quick.
Okay.
So I
I
guess
think you
going
need to
back-
fortify yourself for this.
So no.
Yes.
The average height that I would normally date a guy is between 5'5" to 6'5". Okay, that's like, but
That
that's
is-
the maximum.
that's not
But
an
the
average?
Is 5'10". The average is 5'10".
Okay, that makes sense. So if the average is around 5'10",
Yes.
5'10" is much taller than you.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is like, why don't you just want guys your own size? Because you have some kind of preference?
Because no, they got.
Because you
they
have
got-
some kind of preference?
No, they have big. What is it?
Oh.
Big man, small man syndrome or something, or
tiny
big man.
dog.
Why'd you look at me
And
for
you
that
have...
one?
hang on. And you have some kind of preference against that, right?
No, because
Oh,
some.
small dog syndrome. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
like
gonna say?
something small dog
She was
syndrome.
right.
And you have a preference against that.
I don't have a preference against that.
Then why
It's
aren't you
just-
dating guys with small dog syndrome?
Because it's just their attitude.
Then you have a preference against that attitude.
Wait, can I
And so
make-
if you have a preference, so if you have a preference against that attitude,
Okay,
you
but what-
prefer
okay.
to not have it,
So-
then all you're saying, you're just making the same argument the guy is, where he's like, look, I just prefer to be with chicks that have a lower body count.
Okay, so when you're talking about preferences, like
Things I like, just things I like. That's it.
okay, but what?
Okay, so do you like pizza?
Yeah. I like
Okay,
pizza.
what are the toppings you hate?
I don't hate any toppings.
Not one.
Not one. I could eat pizza.
Anchovies?
I could eat anchovies. Yeah. I'm
Okay, let's try it a different way. What's your favorite toppings?
My favorite topping would have to be cheese.
Okay. So you prefer
No.
your pizzas to have cheese?
Well, don't all pizzas have cheese?
No.
So you've had.
You can have a
pizza?
cheese-free pizza.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
No, I'm
but
gonna
anyway,
try.
but this
Just be sauce and bread.
but this is, I mean, that's what like lactose intolerant people get, right?
Oh.
Or they get fake cheese or something like this. But you have a preference for it, or some type of food. There's some type of food that you like a certain way, like a sandwich. What type of sandwich meat do you hate? Are you gonna love all that too? Is there just nothing you won't eat?
Because I'm an eater. I'm a Taurus.
Okay.
So you gotta understand.
Okay, well,
I like food.
okay, Taurus. What's a food you hate?
What is a mushroom?
Okay, you hate mushrooms, so you have a preference against
I have a
mushrooms.
preference against
Now,
mushrooms.
mushrooms won't kill you to eat them, right?
No, they won't.
Yeah, I just don't like how they taste.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's a preference. It's just an I
Yeah,
like.
but
So
like-
when you're talking about relationships and guys, you're just talking about I likes, I dislike. I
Yeah,
like this,
but,
I like
that's
this, I like
just
this.
so mean to just be like.
What do you mean it's mean?
If a guy were to come up to me and like says, let's just, for example, like I said, if my body count is 32, right?
Yeah.
And there's a girl that has like maybe like what 3 to 5,
Yeah.
and then he chooses the girl that has less than me, and then I ask him, okay, why did you pick that?
It makes you
girl?
feel bad.
It does make
Yeah,
you feel
it
bad.
makes you feel bad.
Well, yeah, it makes me feel bad because it's just like.
But
well,
what is he doing that's wrong other than making you feel bad?
Well, one, my feelings. because
Yeah,
I'm
your
gonna-
feelings.
One, my feelings, but also two, like.
So it's your feelings.
But also too, it's like monkey see, monkey do type thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a high body count as a man and I have a high body count as a woman, like, and we're both having, intercourse with different people, why does my body count is disregarded in your preferences?
Because you don't like it. Just like you don't like mushrooms.
But
I have a
It's
question
just
for
a- it's
Andrew
just a
though. Do you feel like
preference.
there's an actual difference? Like, could you tell someone's body count before they actually tell you? Because I feel like people lie about that
mean,
sort of
maybe
thing all
not.
the time.
Maybe not
So-
with a lot of people.
So then, like, I just am curious, like, how that preference works, other than like a societal impact. I
It's
guess.
just a revulsion. So it's like, here's an idea. Have you ever
Kinda like a
eaten?
turn-off.
Have you ever eaten dog shit?
I would not like to.
Yeah, why not?
It's a preference.
Because it's revolting.
Yeah, but I also.
But wait a second. Couldn't somebody put dog shit in a cake and you wouldn't know it?
I mean,
So you could accidentally eat dog shit.
what
That's
an
what they did in
interesting
the house.
analogy.
Wait a second. You could accidentally.
you
hang
would
on. I
taste
just want
it.
an answer. You could accidentally eat dog shit.
Yeah.
You could, and that
Dude,
would
it could
suck.
happen.
Hang on, that would suck, right? So you're saying you could be tricked because you don't know,
Yeah.
but you're still, if you knew
You'd be
that there
like,
was dog shit, you wouldn't eat the cake, would you?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, but also like, I wanted to say just super quick, and then we can go back. But when you're talking about like men's height versus like women's body count, men don't have control over their height. They're just born that way. They grow, they stop growing, and then but women and men have control over their body count. So it's kind of hard to compare those two.
You have control. Wait,
You have control over it with how many people you sleep
but do
with.
you have control over the things you prefer?
No, but I that's why
Then what-
I
then I don't
checked
understand the
yes and
argument.
no on the box because I feel like is it hypocritical?
But you don't believe that
But
people
is it
have-
wrong? No, you can't force somebody to date
There's no,
somebody.
wait. It's not hypocrisy.
I mean, a little bit.
Not
It
even a little
is.
bit. No. Hypocrisy. People get this wrong all the time. I don't know
What- so
why.
what- so what-
but what hypocrisy is I'm advocating for a thing of which I'm guilty, right? While telling you, right, the person that you cannot
feel like
do
he
said,
just-
hang on. So if you were to say you having a body count is wrong, even though I have the same body count, right? But that's not wrong. That would be hypocrisy. Me saying, though, I have a high body count and prefer women with a lesser body count is not hypocrisy.
Okay.
Hypocrisy
But do you
would
prefer
be
it
the-
because you think it's revolting?
Yeah, so imagine it this way.
But you don't think yourself is revolting.
Yeah, hang on. Imagine it this way. Let's say there's a fat person on a treadmill. They know they're fat. They know they're fat, and so they're trying to lose weight, right? They're on the treadmill, and they look over at somebody else, and they say, hey, you're fat. You should lose weight. They're not a hypocrite. There's no hypocrisy there. The hypocrisy would be if they say, if they say, "Hey, you're fat," right, and I'm not, that would be like hypocrisy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be like condescending then?
It would be both.
That's
But people get hypocrisy wrong all the time. They think that hypocrisy is being guilty of the thing which you're condemning. That's not actually what it is. It's the belief that the thing in which you're condemning is actually fine. There's like a pretense of pretending with hypocrisy.
So technically, a man with a higher body count who prefers a woman with a low body count is a hypocritical man, and he prefers to be.
No, he's
Wait, no,
not
but what's
hypocritical.
interesting
Just
though?
explain.
He's not a hypocrite. There's no hypocrisy.
We're not going to get anywhere with this line of questioning, but I do wonder. I feel
How do you
like
know?
Because we've been talking about the same thing for 10 minutes, but I'm not the host, so who am I? However, I
It's been a
am
good
curious.
conversation. You're wrecking
I am
it.
curious.
You're wrecking the whole conversation.
I'm sorry.
Go
Forgive
ahead,
me.
go ahead.
But I am curious because I feel like you don't often see that perspective coming from women. A woman with high body count saying, "I want a man with a lower body count." So I just am curious, why you think that is.
Oh, it's actually really simple. So, the idea of paternity is something which men only recently could be assured of.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that I know that the kid that you have is mine, we can now know, but that's a very new technology. Before that, how could you know if the child was yours?
So then would that only apply to situations where you're trying to like date someone to marry? It wouldn't apply to like a normal hookup? You might
Well,
like.
no, that's all new tech. These are all new technologies.
Okay.
So here's the idea. The idea is if you were sleeping with a woman before she's your wife, or even she's not your wife, how could you assure paternity absent a paternity test?
By having, I guess, her only sleep with one person.
Only
but that
one
implies
person.
that you're having a child with every woman you
So
sleep
hang on.
with.
So this would imply that there could be a revulsion mechanism.
Oh, okay.
A revulsion mechanism around the idea that if a woman is promiscuous, that you could not be assured paternity, and so there's an internal revulsion which happens.
Okay, so you're saying it's kind of passed down.
what
You
if
think like
there's, like, a
it's
genetic-
generational?
Well, I think it's biological.
Okay.
It's a biological way to create an assurance for paternity.
Interesting.
So I have a question. So basically, like, what do you think about if a girl's like let's say she's like 40 or 50 and like she wants to remarry and a guy cares, or like let's just say she's 35. She's been with 6 people, but she's had 6 boyfriends.
Sure.
She's been in 6 relationships where she wanted to get married. Maybe a guy cheated on her. Maybe they weren't compatible. Like, but she wasn't promiscuous. Then what is that difference than someone who's 3 or 2?
Well, so it's interesting because like these red pillars, these are like online red pillars who everybody hates. They're like, yeah, call everybody whores, and but they actually really don't. They actually try to dive into exactly these ideas. So the idea, let's say you had a woman who had elongated relationships. Maybe she only had 2 or 3, right? And they were long-term relationships. Well, that would signify something completely different than a woman who's promiscuous, even if the body count's a little higher, right? So even if, let's say it's 5 and 50 years. Right, that's one partner per 10 years.
Right.
That's going to be a way different story than, well, not to pick on you, right? But, 50 or 60 partners in a year. That's going to signify a promiscuity issue, right?
And that's also like dangerous to like our bodies. Like I feel like to an extent you should care who you're sleeping with and how many people they're sleeping with. And I think that you can change your mind, and maybe that's okay if men do want to change their mind. Like I think that
And they do.
Yeah.
And the thing is like this happens. It's not like there's not, porn stars out there who
I just
don't
mean,
get
like,
Mr.
judging-
Wonderful. They do. Some of them do. But mostly they don't.
Yeah.
And also the idea here is that men do find it repugnant. They do find it repulsive. Where you think that there's a double standard, that could be true. Right? Society does judge promiscuous men differently than promiscuous women, but that's because of women.
Yeah.
Women judge them differently than men do too.
That's so true.
Yeah,
Oh
women
my
judge
God.
each other more than
But
any man
think
ever
about
will.
this. But think about why
Last
that.
podcast, I felt
But think
really
about
judged.
why that would be. Why that would be the case. It's because you're always assured paternity. Like you always know who the baby's dad's going to be. They don't know.
Wait.
So it's not as built in for you to have that revulsion.
I just meant more so like if it's just down to a number, right? Like saying 3 versus like 10.